Okay, so here is my next project. Not sure who I'm building this for just yet, but I think it's going to be a cool project. Just a simple box with a lid that's going to have a handle that nests into the front of the box. My goal here is to have a 1/16 inch reveal all the way around all the edges. Now back here, when you get to the back, there'll be a 1/16 inch reveal, but this has to be rounded over so that as you raise the lid, oh, I'm going the wrong way with that. So that as you raise the lid, you have clearance here. There's just no other way to do it that I know of anyway. I mean, I could chamfer it, but the other nice thing is that once it reaches past 90, just past 90, it'll have this back piece will act as a stop. I think it's about right there. So it's about, I don't know, maybe 3 to 5 degrees past 90, so that it will stay open. And then I'm going to dovetail key the corners, and put in I was thinking about doing a plywood bottom here, but I think I'm going to do a solid wood bottom. And you have to allow for expansion and contraction when you do something like that. I'll show you how I'm going to do that as well. So there it is. That's the basic concept of what I'm going to shoot for. You know, as always with projects, so I kind of, once you get into them, you kind of make design changes on the fly, and I kind of anticipate that something will come up and when I'm doing this that it won't quite look like this, but this is my goal. I'll put it that way. So here we go, let's get started. Okay, after milling up some old oak that was given to me by a friend of mine, it's got a bunch of wormholes in it, but I think it looks cool. Some people probably think it's junk, but I'm going to use it for this box. And I cut my miters, and my piece is a little bit long here. I'm not, you know, if this was a really custom box, I guess I'd be more concerned about the grain match as it wraps around. But I had some defects in this board that I had to cut out, so it is still in order. In this direction, starting here. So these two kind of pretty much match up. These two kind of match up. These two, and this joint is the one that's where the beginning meets the end. So it's not a good match, but it's all out of the same board, so it looks good. Anyway, you can see here I made the box big, and then I thought, you know, what am I going to do with it? Then I thought, well, I'm going to make it big enough to hold papers, you know, manuals that I have in my shop here. So I can take off about 1 inch in both directions, which means I have to kind of pick my spots. But on this one back here, I don't know if you can see this or not. Let me back this up. This is one defect I couldn't get rid of, but I will now be able to. You can see I had a little blowout right there where it kind of chipped out of me. That's why I put it on the bottom, and to the outside. I couldn't really put it to the inside. So I can get that pretty much 95 to 100% gone by shortening this board from this direction right here, which is no problem because this is end meeting the beginning type thing. And then what I'll do is I'll cut the I guess I can explain that to you again here. So I'm gonna take the waste off of this end on this board, because this is the the beginning meeting the end of the wrap. So that's no problem. This one I'm going to leave alone. Yeah, I'll shorten this joint here on this side. So these two will get shortened. This one I'm going to leave alone, and then these two will get shortened. This is kind of in the back corner here, so I think that's kind of the best way to do it. And then I can show you my method for cutting these miters and getting good results. Okay, I decided, you know, earlier I was just going to do the two corners here and leave these two alone, but after giving it some thought, I'm going to touch up all four corners. These two are just going to get touched up basically, which would be about a half a width of blade removed. And I'm going to use this 80-tooth blade that I have. It's I've had it for a long time. I just cleaned it, took all the pitch off it, so it still feels pretty sharp. But I think I want to see if I'm going to get cleaner cuts here. And the other thing is that I will not be adjusting my arbor setting. I hope this blade registers the same as my combination blade that I have in there now.
Well, this kind of sucks.
I cannot change the blade without moving the arbor off of 45 degrees. Regardless of where I put it in the, you know, by moving it up and down, I can't get the blade off. So I'm going to move it, and since I've got plenty of room to work with, I'll redial in my 45-degree cut. I think it's worth it to try and see if this makes any difference. I got my blade switched out. Incidentally, the nearest angle you can, or the steepest angle you can change your blade at on this table saw is about 25 degrees. So I learned a lesson there. I've got this set up for the short pieces here. I'm going to make a cut, check it, but this is the technique I use. When I first made these cuts, I did I guess I'll call it a macro cut, where I got close to my cut line, and then I did this. I took about a half a blade width off of the 45, and what you want to do is you want to make sure, because I used a clamp here too. So I used the Jorgensen to hold it tight to the miter gauge. And then when I push through, I'm pushing down on the piece to make sure it doesn't get pulled away from the saw tabletop, and then just pushing it through nice and easy. Well, that is much cleaner, there's no doubt about that. Let me check it for accuracy and then squareness, and I'll be right back. So when I check this, I see a little daylight, consistent daylight on the top here. So that means I need to take a little bit more off the heel, I'll call it, which means that my blade is it's just shy of 45 degrees, so it's got to get a little bit steep. It took me about 5 attempts to get that thing dialed in, but now that I have it set, I'm going to make 4 cuts here. All the preliminary cuts on the opposite corners, and then I'll cut that big piece off. The one thing I forgot to mention was, before I did this, you have to make sure that everything is absolutely clean underneath here, and that you're registered right to the tabletop with no material underneath or between you and the miter gauge fence. So all that can affect this angle just a little bit and provide those little gaps that you don't want. Alright, I'll just continue to make my cuts, get them sized. Every time I make a cut, I double check it with my square to make sure it is 45 degrees. So I'll get them all dialed in, and we'll see what the difference is when I put it back together.